Ever chug a protein shake after a workout and think, is all this really getting to my muscles?
Right.
Today we're going deep on protein absorption.
Yeah.
It's way more complex than those numbers on a nutrition label.
It really is. So many people think it's just a simple equation, like eat this much protein, gain this much muscle.
Exactly. But we're going beyond that, figuring out how our bodies actually use what we eat. We're diving into some research from Coach Dave. He's busted the myth that, say, 100 grams of protein equals 100 grams absorbed.
Yeah, he really emphasizes that. It's where this idea of bioavailability is so important. You could be eating a ton of something, but if your body can't actually use it, what's the point?
So basically just hitting a certain number on your fitness tracker isn't the whole story.
Not even close. Coach Dave found that someone could be eating 100 grams of protein, but depending on their digestion, they might only be absorbing 60, maybe 80 grams.
Wow, that's a massive difference. No wonder he focuses so much on optimizing your digestion.
It's crucial. He compares it to a machine, right? Like all these intricate parts working together. And if even one part's out of whack, the whole system suffers.
Okay, so let's break down this digestion machine then. What actually affects how well we're breaking down and absorbing nutrients?
Well, it starts with something so basic that most people overlook it. Chewing.
Wait, really? I thought that was just about table manners.
It's way more than that. Think about it. The more you chew, the smaller the food particles become. And that makes it way easier for those digestive enzymes to do their job.
Speaking of enzymes, Coach Dave found that if you're deficient in a certain enzyme, it can cause issues with certain foods.
Right, like lactose intolerance. If you don't have enough lactase enzyme, you can't break down lactose, which is the sugar in dairy.
So paying attention to how different foods make us feel, it's almost like being our own little digestion detective.
Exactly. And it's not just enzymes either. Coach Dave is always talking about the importance of stomach acid. It's crucial for breaking down protein and killing off harmful bacteria.
And what about the gut microbiome? You know, all those trillions of bacteria living in our intestines.
Oh, that's huge. Coach Dave's a big proponent of probiotics, but he stresses that not all probiotic strains are created equal.
You mean just grabbing any yogurt off the shelf isn't enough?
Nope. Different strains have different effects. Some are better for, say, immune support, while others might be more beneficial for digestion or nutrient absorption. It's important to get that personalized advice, which is something Coach Dave really advocates for.
He also seems to favor a whole foods approach. Is that connected to better absorption too?
100%. Processed foods often have all sorts of additives and preservatives that can actually interfere with nutrient absorption. But whole foods, they give your body all the nutrients it needs to function at its best.
So it's like giving your body the full toolkit for optimal digestion instead of just a couple of wrenches.
Great analogy. In fact, one thing Coach Dave specifically calls out is protein powder. A lot of people think it's this magic muscle-building potion, but...
Wait, really? Protein powder? But isn't that like the holy grail for anyone who lifts weights?
It can be a convenient way to up your protein intake, sure. But our bodies might not actually use it as efficiently as protein from, say, chicken or fish. Plus, a lot of those powders are highly processed. They could even contain contaminants you wouldn't believe.
Yikes. Okay, that's making me rethink my post-workout routine.
It's not about ditching the powder entirely, but maybe asking yourself, is this really the best choice long term? Especially compared to eating real whole foods.
Right, because like you said, it doesn't matter how much protein is on the label if your body can't even use it all.
Exactly. And there's another piece to this puzzle that Coach Dave brings up, one that I think a lot of us struggle with, honestly.
What's that?
Stress.
Wait, seriously, stress affects how well I digest my food.
Big time. When we're stressed, our bodies go into that fight or flight mode, right?
Yeah.
And digestion. That's not exactly a top priority when you're in survival mode.
So my body's too busy freaking out about a deadline to actually, absorb the nutrients from that salad I had for lunch.
Pretty much. It's like your body's like, I don't know if we're going to make it, got to conserve energy. It's kind of a raw deal, actually.
No kidding. So
Yeah.
how do we deal with that besides, quitting our jobs and moving to a deserted island?
Well, that's where Coach Dave's holistic approach really comes in. He talks a lot about stress management techniques like breath work, for example.
So just taking a few deep breaths can actually help my body digest my food better.
Absolutely. It helps calm down that fight or flight response and shifts your body back into rest and digest mode.
It's incredible how interconnected all of this is. We started with protein, and now we're talking about stress and breath work. It really shows how important it is to look at the whole system, not just obsess over numbers on a nutrition label.
100%. Coach Dave's always saying, don't miss the forest for the trees. It's about the bigger picture of health and well-being, and part of that is recognizing the limitations of food labels.
They're a starting point, but not the whole story.
Exactly. They give you the ingredients, but they can't tell you exactly how your unique body is going to use them.
It's like having the ingredient list, but not the actual recipe.
Perfect analogy, because we all have different digestive systems, different gut microbiomes, different stress levels. Our bodies process food in unique ways.
So what works for one person might not work for another. And just because you hit some magic number on a label doesn't mean your body's actually going to absorb and use all those nutrients effectively.
Right. And that's why Coach Dave is such a proponent of individualized health. It's about working with someone knowledgeable to figure out the best approach for your specific needs and goals.
It's not about a quick fix. It's about playing the long game and investing in your long-term digestive health.
Exactly. Because ultimately, when we improve our ability to digest and absorb those nutrients, we're not just optimizing our health today, we're setting ourselves up for a healthier future too.
Love that. It's about taking care of your future self. It's like he's saying, stop stressing about the perfect diet and just pay attention to your own body.
Right. It's about tuning in to what makes you feel your best.
So next time I'm tempted to just grab a protein bar on the go, I'll be thinking about this. Maybe slow down, chew my food properly, take a few deep breaths.
Exactly. It's those little things that can make a big difference. It's easy to get caught up in wanting a quick fix, you know?
Yeah.
But Coach Dave really highlights that real, lasting health. It's about those sustainable choices we make every day.
Yeah, like maybe skipping the protein powder sometimes and having like a big salmon dinner instead.
Now you're getting it. It's about more than just hitting your macros. It's about choosing foods that nourish your mind and body.
It's amazing how much we covered, right? We started talking about protein, but this whole conversation has been about way more than that. Like mindful eating, stress management, really understanding how our bodies work.
It's all connected, and that's what I love about these deep dives. You start to see those connections, how everything influences everything else.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, if there's one thing you want our listeners to take away from this, what would it be?
Invest in your gut. It's not just about protein. It's about everything you absorb. Pay attention to what you eat, how you eat it, how you feel afterward. Your body will thank you for it, I promise.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into protein absorption. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep listening to your body.